Thank you for joining the intro podcast for the Humble Healer. I hope you find this episode helpful as well as the future episodes. And please hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel if you like the shows and you find them helpful, and recommend to your friends and families. You can check out this show, The Humble Healer, on Facebook and YouTube, as well as I will post on X and also podcast channel. My name is Dr. Quang Lei. I'm a board certified family physician with experience in urgent care, primary care, addiction, obesity, and some cosmetic medicine. The reason for this podcast, and in my over 2 decades of clinical practice and experience, I've been able to find very rewarding connection to my patient, thousands of patients. And I would like to bring that to our podcast audience using the same approach that I have in medical care, which is save sometimes, relieve often, and comfort always. Throughout the years, I've learned an important lesson about how to improve care for people around you. And the first thing to do is to take care of yourself first. Just like when you fly in an airplane, you will be asked to put the mask on yourself first before applying them to your children. Same concept here. I want to share with you hundreds of lessons that I have learned how to reach personal and professional fulfillment. And I hope that you will participate in those future sessions so that I can share those lessons with you. And hopefully you'll be able to find that long-lasting happiness, health, good health, resilience. Also, I will help you discover self-love, compassion, and kindness. And then you can start sharing that with those around you. In this first episode, we'll focus on self-compassion. And this is not the same as compassion for others. I've seen and witnessed several of my physician colleagues suffering from burnout, and that really affects their desire to stay in medicine and take care of their own patients, as well as ability to take care of their families. And this also happened with all other healthcare workers, including nurse practitioners or physician assistants and nurses and medical assistants. I want to start with this because this is applicable not only in medicine, but also in real life, where I've seen a lot of parents, especially single moms, suffering from lack of self-compassion and neglecting their own self-care and put their own interests and health at the bottom of the list. And I'm trying to motivate those people to keep their health and happiness just as they keep their children and family health and happiness at the same priority. I will rely heavily on this book by Dr. Kristen Neff on self-compassion with the same title, readily available on Amazon. Upbringing is an important part of why we are in this Western society full of self-criticisms instead of self-compassion. And this can come from childhood with overcritical parents, teachers, coaches, siblings, and after a while, these constant little criticisms and put down can add up to general indictment of who you are as a person. I'm not okay the way I am. I need to be better, to be perfect, or I won't be worthy of love. Yesterday, we had our Friday night family movie night, and my youngest daughter, because of her birthday, she got to pick a movie, and she picked the Red Panda for us to watch for the third time. And in that movie, that's essentially what the story is about, how not to let your parents down by being perfect. And that creates a lot of stress. And that's basically the essence of the gist of the movie with the Red Panda. To avoid further criticisms, you preemptively criticize yourself before they have a chance to do it for you. Modify your behavior ahead of time. And now you have internalized their criticisms and become very self-critical of every mistake you make and build up a sense of inadequacy that continues well into adulthood. Besides upbringing, society pressures in the Western societies also create a highly competitive, individualistic society, pitting everyone against each other, promoting the idea of being above average, which is impossible for everyone to achieve. We come to view others as our rivals and constantly compare ourselves to others, as well as how we measure to the society standard, such as material success and physical attractiveness. Perfection becomes the goal, despite the fact that it always will be out of reach. The reality is that if we look around, there will always be someone that are more successful than we are, have more money than we do, or being more attractive, or more intelligent than us, or more talented. The result is dissatisfaction. As long as we compare ourselves to others to determine our self-worth, we will always find something about us to be self-critical of. Here's the adverse effect of self-criticism on self-motivation. On first glance, self-criticism can be self-motivating to an extent, but it's always laced with nasty put-downs and about ourselves, along with scathing judgment about our self-worth. How many times have we called ourselves idiots for slipping and falling, being late for an appointment? I can never do anything right. I am such a failure. Using self-criticism to self-motivate resort to using fear in order to get us to do something, and this always comes with serious drawbacks. An actor can be so distracted on the stage for fear of being harshly judged that it can more likely has a subpar performance. Fear can make everyone more tense, adversely affect their performances. Also, self-criticism can create a behavior called self-handicapping, which involves deliberately setting oneself up for potential failure by creating or claiming impediment to success. This can involve procrastination, not practicing, claiming an illness, or even substance abuse. Deliberate procrastination leads to blaming on a rushed deadline. This strategy aims to protect self-esteem and manage the impression others have on them. While self-handicapping might protect self-esteem in the short term, it can hinder skill development and lead to low overall achievement, long-term success, and healthy self-perception. Also, harsh self-criticism amount to self-abuse with long-term consequences. Imagine a friend slipping on ice on the street. How would you respond to that friend? How would you respond to yourself in the same situation? Is there a difference between the two responses? How do you respond to our own misfortune, mistakes, and suffering? To our friend's fall, it starts with, "Are you okay?" This is an acknowledgement of suffering. Many of us struggle with this process of acknowledging our own suffering, as we were taught to face our hardship with a stiff upper lip. We have to stop and acknowledge our suffering to anyone that we love or care about when they suffer. And this can start with a self-hug, self-comforting words, such as, "I'm so sorry, I'm going through this. I'm going to be okay. I try the best that I can." Overcoming the notion that we should be callous toward ourselves and our pain. Just in giving yourself a self-hug the next time you are mindful with your own suffering and self-blame. Try closing your eyes and giving yourself a full embrace 30 seconds daily to provide some self-comforting words. You are suffering, but you will feel better. You are doing the best that you can, and don't be so hard on yourself. Practicing self-compassion involves also putting psychological space between yourself and your suffering. Engaging in self-hugging or self-comforting means you are adopting both the roles of caregiver and care recipient. In order to separate yourself from your suffering, you need to create some space between yourself and your suffering. And in doing this, you are sending yourself a powerful message. Yes, I'm suffering, but there's more to me than just that suffering. I'm also the emotions and actions of compassion that I can show myself by being the comforter to self. Mindful breathing and awareness helps create this space. This allows us not to be consumed by our own negative emotions and sufferings, and allows you to look at your suffering as a more objective perspective. And this also prevents you from being carried away by negative reactive emotions such as, "Everything is so stressful right now. Everything is falling apart. It's over," such as things like that. Finally, this can put you in a better position to solve the problems that are causing you to stress in the first place. One other strategy is that recognize our shared humanity with others in practicing self-compassion. Remember that our suffering is not alone. Millions of others have been through our situation, such as losing a job, losing a loved one, being sick, coming down with a serious illness, or fear of speaking, and so on. We are not alone in making mistakes in life. It is okay to accept and learn from them. We are as flawed as any other human being, and that's okay. Instead of being an obstacle, criticism can be a starting point for self-compassion. Avoid being over self-critical when you are not practicing self-compassion. From day one, be self-compassionate and allow time for us to transition ourselves out of the default self-critical tendency. To do this, practice mindfulness the next time you realize your mistakes, like spilling coffee on your clothes, or when you fail to provide self-comfort. Pause before being self-critical about this. Acknowledge the frustrating feeling and then tell yourself that this could happen to anyone, and then make the time to fix the problem, like cleaning the stain off your clothes, or start with self-comforting words or self-hug. In conclusion, self-criticism and feeling of inadequacy are the unhealthy consequences of receiving criticism as children and feeling the pressure of living in a highly competitive society. Compassion is healthier alternative to self-criticism, which is ultimately self-defeating. We can practice self-compassion by being mindful of our suffering, showing our self-kindness in response to it, and remembering our shared humanity. Imagine yourself as a reservoir of water that need to give out water to everyone around you every day. If you do not fill that water or reservoir, they won't run dry. And you cannot give any more water. That's also when you get sick. You will come down with illnesses, which I've seen many times. People coming in with recurrent infections, pain, palpitations, tension headache, fibromyalgia, IBS. I can go on and on. When your body suffers, when your mind suffers, your body will suffer also. Another example is being an apple tree and you want to give out fresh juicy apples to everyone around you. You have to nurture that apple tree in order for that to keep making yummy, delicious apples. If you do not nurture and support that apple tree, it will shrivel up, it will die, or will get sick. And everyone around you, your loved one, will have to take care of that apple tree, which is not ideal, and everyone will suffer as a consequence. Remember, practice mindfulness in order to practice self-compassion. Please take care of yourself before taking care of anyone else. It's very important. Lesson number 1. Take care.